Welcome to the farm. I'm Kate Wilson, and today we're talking about compost in the garden. There's a couple reasons why you would want to add compost to your garden. One is because it brings a lot of nutrient value. It'll increase the nutrition within your soil, which then can really help your fruit and vegetables, whatever you're growing, increase their nutrient content, but also just grow better. And then the other reason is because you're going to help your soil hold moisture better and more appropriately. It's not going to get over drowned if there's a lot of rain, and it'll hold that moisture so that when there's not a lot of rain and we're practically in drought season midsummer, your plants will still be flourishing because you have really great soil thanks to your compost. I most often use cow manure because we raise cattle, grass-fed cattle, and we have a lot of bovine manure that we use or that we collect over the winter in our winter paddock. So I really like the cow manure or the bovine manure because of the amount of it that I have, and the nutrient content. It has a really great nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus ratio. So this stuff right here is actually about 2 years old, and look at that. I mean, it is just dirt. It is awesome. This has turned into beautiful dirt, and I am going to put this into my garden, and I have never had tomatoes grow so well as when I used the cow manure in my garden. The main reason why this is my most favorite, though, is because of how much of it I have. I mean, as you can see, this was from 2 years ago. This is about how much cow manure we have just from one winter. In Minnesota, our winters are, fairly long, so our cattle are in our winter paddock for probably 5 months. And so we collect all that poop, and here we put it. And so if you know a farmer that might be willing to give you some of their old manure, that's a great way to add compost to your garden. Another type of manure that you can use as compost is poultry manure. This is our poultry manure. This is just the best. And if I could have enough poultry manure to get it all over my entire garden, this is what I would use. It breaks down really fast. You only need it, it's only about 6 months is all it takes to break this down. Sometimes you can even put it on right away, as long as there's not too much of it, and it will help your garden. And it has, again, a really good nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium ratio. So this would be my favorite if you live in the city and you happen to be raising chickens, or you want to raise chickens. You just better check your city ordinance, and if you can, collect this over the entire year, in fact, and you can take it and be adding it to your garden. Best compost ever, chicken manure. A lot of things that fall to the ground in the fall you can use in your garden as compost to prepare for the next season or for the next summer. Pine needles are one of them. These pine needles we took, and we didn't rake them up from our own garden. From our own yard. We got these from some people who live in the city. We raked them up for them, and then we brought them out here and put them around all of our blueberry bushes. These are our blueberry bushes. Blueberries love acidic soil, and pine needles are very acidic. You do not want to put these everywhere in your garden. If you do, you will change the pH balance of your soil, and you want your soil to be as pH balanced at 7 as you can. And these are great, though, if you're putting them around potatoes, if you're putting them around blueberry bushes. Those are great. And even if you're maybe doing potatoes and you want to have some sort of a compostable walking path, you can use these and just kind of place them as your walking path, and that'll help keep the weeds back. So there's another idea for compost with stuff that you might have around your yard. Wood ash is another really great element that you can put as compost in your garden. This right here is ash that we got from the wood that we burned in our fire pit. We also burn wood in our grill. We actually have real wood, not the charcoal briquettes. And we burn wood in a wood burning stove that heats our house. All those ashes will get put into my garden here. They're really great for things that love alkaline. So my asparagus and my strawberries, they're gonna get lots of this sprinkled all around them. It'll help them grow and actually help them be really healthy too. Leaves are another great thing that you can put as compost into your garden. These leaves came from some friends who live in the city. They rake up their leaves in the fall and put them in bags, and the compost or garbage man will come and pick them up for them. Well, instead we took them and brought them here to protect our fruit trees. That'll be a whole nother conversation that we have. But now I'm gonna take these away from my fruit trees, and these are actually, I'm gonna put them in my garden. Some of them will get just kind of tilled and worked into the soil, but many of these I'm actually going to use as my walking paths right in between all of my, like, I'm gonna lay down my weed guard, I'm gonna lay down put in my vegetables, and then these are gonna go in between because they bring another really nice nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium ratio to the soil. It doesn't hurt it at all, and it's a really great way to keep those weeds down. So I'm going to use these leaves as the composting weed guard, if you will, in between my rows of vegetables. Composting can be a super valuable way to improve your garden and be very, very cheap, a very cheap way to add nutrients to your garden and help it properly handle moisture. I'd love it if you'd share with me in the comments below on how you like to add these nutrients through compost to your garden. We'll see you next time.